Okay, we are going to get started here. All right, the bell ringer said to please write 6 lines and explain how this photograph or this image is related to contract law. So tell me what you got. Tamika? Okay, they look like they're in the library and they're giving information. Someone's giving an offer? Yeah. Okay. Okay, could be an offer and acceptance. Okay, Matthew, what'd you put down?
Checking out a book from the library, she may check out those books.
Okay, so you're seeing again a library, checking out the books maybe. Yeah.
One lady is handing the other lady a paper or some other object. I can't really see too well. They both have genuinely pleasant expressions on their face, so I'm assuming a contract or something is being signed. The environment is a library likely, so I'm not entirely sure what kind of deal is exactly being made. But yeah, it looks like an offer, not a discount.
Okay, Marcus?
I say it's the counter. To me, it looks like a counter offer because the lady in the black, well, not in the black, but like purple, looks like she's giving her something because they look like they're in like a product store.
Okay.
Back or something.
Okay. So you think it's a counter offer? Okay, well, most of you are correct. This is an example of offer and acceptance. I believe this is a skincare or a salon of some kind. But there is a purchase being made. This is the POS system, point of sale system. This woman is the cashier. This woman is purchasing something. She's handing her a credit card. Okay? It is a contract. Now, did they sit down and write up the terms of the contract? No, they did not. Okay? She's simply making a purchase. Where are the terms of the contract written for this woman? Yes?
On the receipt.
Okay, on the receipt. Okay, the price of the product is printed somewhere. So the woman, the offer is being made by the store saying, here, these are our goods and these are for sale for this amount. And then the woman is saying, I accept by handing over her credit card. So I ask you, have you ever been in a contract? Yes? 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 Does anybody think they've never been in a contract?
All you gotta do is sign your name.
You sometimes don't even have to sign your name. If you hand cash over when you buy a pack of gum, you have technically been in a contract. Okay? When you came to school and you signed your name to be a part of this Dauphin County Technical School, you signed a contract to abide by our policy, our school rules. Okay? So yes, you've all been in a contract. Now, are your contracts enforceable at law? What do you think? Are they enforceable? Okay? Are your contracts that you've been in, are they enforceable? Okay. Okay, we'll come back to that and determine whether or not they are. Yes, honey. It's in Schoology. Go into Schoology. Okay. So that is our bell ringer. Good job. All right, this is our beginning of contract law. Okay, your essential question. This is your unit essential question. What are the elements required to form an enforceable contract? This is the question that we are going to answer over the course of the next couple days, Okay? Actually, we're going to answer this question right now, and then we're going to discuss the answer to the question over the next couple of days. Okay, so what are the elements required to form an enforceable contract? Write this question down. Now, all of this information will be available to you on Schoology. I will put this entire PowerPoint on Schoology as a PDF. You will have connection to the information and to the links. There are links that you will go to.
What is that?
It's in chapter PowerPoint. Microsoft certification PowerPoint. Okay, so the answer here. Okay. First, we're going to define contract. Now, again, if you're listening to me, you can write these notes down, but understand that they will all be provided to you. A contract is a legal document that is designed to protect the parties involved from fraud and poor business deals. Okay? It is a legal document. Now, when you purchase a pack of gum, where is the legal document? Marcus, you said it before. It's the receipt, okay? That is our legal document when you purchase a pack of gum. There should always be some kind of paper trail. Now, occasionally, you will buy something and there won't be a receipt, or it'll be a cash purchase. But generally speaking, there should be some kind of paper trail. Okay, but this protects parties from fraud and poor business deals. What was fraud? We discussed fraud in the both crimes and tort law chapter. Yes.
Imposing someone on something you're not.
Oh, okay. Yes, portraying yourself as someone, in a false manner. Okay, doing an unsavory business deal. Okay. All right, the 6 elements of contract. Now, there are, I've taught courses where they actually say there's 7. I've taught some where they split up offer and acceptance. In our book, we list offer and acceptance as one unified element. Okay? And then we added this writing element at the bottom here. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's in the book, so we're gonna stick with it. Okay, but our 6 elements are offer and acceptance, genuineness, or what we'll call genuine assent, consideration, legal capacity, legality, and writing. So in your books, on page, I believe it's 108, 109. Bless you. 109. Someone please read for me the what's your verdict. How about Tyler?
Juan and Susan were talking one day after school. Juan would turn 16 on the upcoming July 13th and wanted to buy Susan's car. Susan, 17, had been working and saving her money to buy a new car. Selling her old car for $2,800 would give her enough to do so. She offered it to Juan for the amount, and he accepted.
Okay. So the question is, did the 2 friends create a legally enforceable contract? What do you think? Is it legally enforceable? Based on the previewing that you did of the chapter, what do you think? Marcus says no. Kiara says no. Tamika says no. Why? Marcus?
Because you can't sell it unless
Okay, Marcus says you can't sell a car unless you have some kind of legal approval. To an extent, there are taxes and things and tags that need to be dealt with. Okay, so we're going to assume, though, for this example, that those are going to be taken care of. Okay, so you would be right. Like if I just said, here, you take my payments and I'll take, whatever, we'll switch. That would not be legal. But we're going to pretend for this case that they did do all the paperwork. Okay, Tyler? Okay, Tyler's saying it would not be enforceable because there are no official documents. What else? Does their age factor in here?
Yeah. Cause one's turning 16.
Okay, so one is 16 or turning 16 and one is 17. Does the fact that they are 16 and 17 have anything to do with the fact with the legality of the contract? Okay, Marcus is saying yes because they're minors. Okay. All right, so we'll come back to that. We'll decide in a little bit. All right. Okay. The first element here, offer and acceptance. Okay. You need to have a valid offer and a complete unconditional acceptance. So the offer is the expression of willingness to contract on certain terms. The offer in our case, with the what was your verdict, would be Susan. Let me see here. Susan offering to sell her vehicle for $2,800. That's the offer. I will sell this car for $2,800. Okay? The unconditional willingness, the unconditional acceptance would be Juan saying, sure, yes, let's do this. He doesn't say, how about $2,500? He doesn't change the price, which would be a counteroffer, Marcus, that you said earlier. He doesn't say, okay, $2,800, and you got to buy me, gas for a month. He doesn't add any additional details. He just says, yes. So it is an unchanged, unconditional acceptance. He doesn't say, I'll buy it, but if in a month I don't, if the transmission dies, I want my money back. He says, yes. So that is an offer and acceptance. Sounds simple enough, right? Yeah, right. Okay. The next thing is there is no acceptance if one party's response to an offer says, I'm not so sure. Okay? The acceptance has to be complete. So sounds good. Let me think about it. Is not an acceptance. That's a conditional acceptance. That's not final. Okay? If the response has strings attached, I'll do it if you pay me, more money, or if you're willing to drop the price, then I'll buy it. Okay? Or if you're willing to paint the car and keep the price, then I'll do it. Okay? That would be strings attached. Or if it's based on lies. Okay? So if we find out that, what's her name? Susan had stolen the car. Okay? That she didn't own the car. So we come back to Marcus's legality issue. If Susan had stolen the car and she doesn't have the title to the vehicle, she cannot sell it, okay? Juan cannot be entered into this contract if we find out that the car never actually belonged to Susan. She doesn't have legal rights to sell it, okay? So if any of those things happen, or some other concepts, or some other things, issues arise, then we don't have a valid acceptance. But okay, so okay, so that's no acceptance if we have those issues. Okay, the next thing, genuine assent. So this could be lacking. This is the second element, or one of the elements Okay, this could be lacking if we have mistake, if we have fraudulent misrepresentation, if we have undue influence or duress. Okay, and if we find out that any of these elements are going on, then the other person can get out of it. Okay, so if Susan goes up to Juan and points a gun in his head and says, you want to buy my car for $2,800? Okay, and Juan says, well, I don't know. And she says, well, if you don't, I'm going to shoot you. Then we have what we call duress. Okay, so we have an issue. If the car has no engine in it, and Susan says, oh yeah, it's a really good car, runs really well, and I think you're really gonna like it, but I can't let you test drive it because it's sleeping right now and it needs its rest. But if we can just do this, sign this paper here, then we'll be on our way. Okay? Then we have misrepresentation, fraudulent misrepresentation on the part of Susan. And then if we have mistake, that would be not a fraudulent mistake, but a mistake of fact. Okay, if we find out that the car is actually worth, a different amount of money, something along those lines. Okay, but those are ways that one party could get out of the contract if there is a question of genuine assent. Okay. All right. Genuine assent is said to be lacking if we have mistake, fraudulent misrepresentation, undue influence, or duress. And this picture here is representing our duress, okay, or our undue influence. If I said, hey, Tyler, my son is selling a car, and we really, really, really want you to buy it. It's $5,000, and if you don't buy it, you're probably going to fail for the year. Then guess what? That's undue influence. Tyler may enter into that contract because he doesn't want to fail for the year, but my influence is I'm holding my power, my authority over him, and so therefore he's entered into the contract, but he doesn't really want my $5,000 piece of crap car. It's not really worth $5,000 in my scenario. So anyway, that would be an undue influence. Or I gave the example of fraudulent misrepresentation. So we'll keep working with this, but that's genuine assent. Okay? Legality. Now, lots of people are buying and selling stuff, and some of it's illegal. Is that a contract? No, because it's not legal. You can't go to the police and say, my drug dealer gave me crappy drugs and I paid him really good money for it. That doesn't work. Okay? You can't go to the police and say, God bless you, you can't go to the police and say, I gave this guy $10,000 to beat the snot out of so-and-so, and he didn't do it. Why can't you do that? Because it's illegal. Okay? So the purpose of the agreement must not be illegal, okay, or contrary to public policy. You can't pay somebody to set a building on fire. That's illegal. Okay? So the picture here shows a drug deal going down right there in front of the school bus. Okay? But you cannot have a contract if it has to do with an illegal, if the terms of the contract are illegal. Okay? I think you can use your imagination there. All right, consideration. There is no contract unless there is a thing of value given by both parties, okay, that induces them to enter the agreement. So in this case, in the case of the book we have the car and we have $2,800. Those are two things of value, and they are being exchanged. Okay, it could be that, like my contract with the school, the thing of value that I'm giving them is my service as a dedicated teacher, an educator of young minds, and then they give me money. That's the way that works. Okay, I'm not giving them anything back. It's not like I'm going to knit them a blanket or something. I'm giving them my time and my service. So it can be a promise to do something. That can be a contract. Okay, maybe you have a contract with your parents to provide them with sufficient grades, say, I don't know, 90s, in exchange for, I don't know, maybe a car? I don't know, something like that. So that is a thing of value must be given by both parties. Now coming back here, is there a thing of value being exchanged on both sides here? Sure. Okay. This drug, these drugs, this packet of drugs has a street value, and there's money. It's being exchanged. However, it is illegal, which is why it is not considered a contract. Okay, so the consideration is something of value. It cannot be a promise of love or affection. It cannot be something subjective. Okay, I can't say, hey Derek, I will give you $2,000 if you act like you're my friend for a week. Okay? And then if Derek doesn't act like he's my friend, I don't have to pay him. Why? I'm going to take it. Your phone, stop. Focus. It is subjective. There is no way of measuring the promise of love, the promise of friendship, the promise of, of caring. If you promise to take care of me, quotes, then I will, pay for your college or something. All right, so it cannot be something subjective. It must be something that is measurable, something that you can put value on. A diamond you can have valued. Jewelry, antique furniture, okay, there are a lot of things that you can put value on, but affection is not one of them. Okay? Capacity. This is where we get a little bit more into why you should care about contract law. Okay? It is legal competence of a person to enter into a valid contract. So, okay, capacity means that the person is able to enter into the contract. It refers to their agreement and their competence, their ability to perform the act. Now, these two adorable children here, may or may not be mine, are they able to enter into a contract? No. Okay, why? Because they're children. They do not have the mental capacity. Just like we talked about with tort law, they don't have the mental capacity to understand right from wrong. They certainly don't have the mental capacity to understand, things of value and exchange of value. Okay, so we protect children from entering into contracts. Okay, now the second thing down there, what is that person doing? Drinking alcohol. So when people are under the influence of drugs or alcohol, they no longer have ability, or they cannot be held to their contract, okay, because they are under the influence. So our legal capacity requires people to be of sound mind or body. And that also includes the mental state. So if a person has a questionable mental state that can be diagnosed by a doctor, then they are not bound to a contract. If they are underage, and I believe the age varies from state to state, but 8 is a general age that we use. So the children under 8, they cannot be held. Over 8 with a parental, allowance or parental consent, they can be held to a contract. And then when we get into the upper teen years, okay, so our example here with 17 and 16-year-old kids, can the two people be into a contract? Can the 16 and 17-year-old be held to the contract? Okay, they can, as long as both parties are willing to be held to it. Now, if Susan decides at the last minute she doesn't really want to sell that car, she can back out based on her age, based on her capacity. Okay, so we can have a legal contract as long as both parties want to be in it, but if one of the two parties underage decides they don't want to, they can back out based on their legal capacity. Now, had their parents been involved, as Marcus said, and there was paperwork done, paperwork filed, and their parents had signed for them, then they would not be able to back out because their parents are acting as their guarantors Okay, when you go to college, some of you might not be 18 when you go, but you're still signing away. You're signing for things for your college loans and things like that. And your parents are your guarantors. If you don't pay them, your parents get to pay. Super fun. Okay, so we have age as a factor, and we have other factors. The last thing here is the writing. Now, this is the one that I said I don't. It's kind of it's wishy-washy. It's saying that some contracts must be written to be enforced. Okay, this means that um, it's eliminating some of the contracts that are what we call oral contracts. Um, It is good business practice to have the terms written out, even if it's just on a piece of paper, and then have them notarized. What's a notary? What's Yes, Tyler's mom is a notary. What is a notary? Oh my God. Yes.
It's signature of the basically the agreement of the other person, basically.
It is a person. It is a person with legal force who can say, this person is agreeing and this person is agreeing, and they're putting their stamp and their signature on it. Okay, saying that it is a legal bound, it's a legal document. They are approving it. Yes. Okay. Yes, she puts her stamp. It's a press, right? Yeah. So that's a notary. It is a good idea. It is good business practice to pay to have contracts notarized, even if they're on just a piece of paper, so that there is a legal element. When you get into any contract to purchase a car, turn that off now. When you get into any place where you are purchasing a vehicle or signing for a house, you will do extensive paperwork, signing your name 1,000 times and in very legalese ways. And so when we get into most contracts, they are written out and they are very detailed. Okay, but that is the sixth element in our book is called writing, and it's referring to the fact that it is good business practice to have everything written out, all of your terms very expressly explained, so that both sides know what they're being expected to do. Okay? When I started working here, I received a book, this book, my staff manual. Okay? I was expected to read it and know all of the policies in here. So the first time when I don't know what I did. I didn't go to bus duty or something. And they came to me and said, "You were supposed to do this and you didn't." And I said, "I had no idea." Guess what they said to me? Yes, they said I was fired. So I'm just working here for free now. They said, "It's in your staff manual." Okay? When you guys started school here, you got a student planner, your handbook, and they said, "Here are the expectations." Okay? So that's how you were supposed to know what things you needed to do and what rules you needed to follow, etc. Okay, so that is writing. Okay. The assignment is now listed in Schoology. It is in the Chapter 6 folder, and there are links to the online resources that will help you complete the assignment. Good luck.